The Milwaukee Bucks are back with a huge win over the Atlanta Hawks in the semifinals of the NBA Cup. A very impressive win, and over the past couple weeks and a month, the Milwaukee Bucks have been rolling and look like one of the best teams in the NBA. We can take a look at the box score here of this Bucks and Hawks game, and don't look at the Atlanta Hawks as a bad team. This is a team that just beat New York Knicks in the first round of the NBA Cup, and a team that has been beating some really good teams. They've beaten the Cavs twice this year. They've beaten the Celtics. So don't look at this Atlanta Hawks team as an easy win for the Bucks. They are rolling. They're playing red hot. So this was a very impressive win for the Bucks. We look at the box score here. Giannis is the first guy we have to talk about. I mean, 32 points, 14 rebounds, almost a triple-double with 9 assists. And he was obviously very efficient, 10 of 15 from the field goal. Didn't attempt a three, but did also shoot pretty good from the free throw line as well for Giannis standards. And the thing with Giannis is he is playing at an MVP level. Now, whether you want to give the MVP to Jokic or whether you want to give it to Giannis, Giannis is playing at that level, and he's doing it on both sides of the ball. We saw in this Hawks game down the stretch, it looked like the NBA Finals when it was the Bucks and the Suns. Giannis had that really good recovery block. I think it was on DeAndre Ayton in the finals against the Suns, but this time it was against Clint Capella with maybe a minute or two to go in the fourth quarter of this NBA Cup game, and that really sealed the deal on the defensive end. So Giannis, he had another amazing performance, and he's been playing at that MVP level pretty much this entire season. I also feel like you have to give Damian Lillard some credit for this win. Now, he didn't have a great shooting performance, 5 of 14 from 3, 8 of 21 from the field, but he still gave you 25 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and also did have 3 steals as well. And Damian Lillard, also like Giannis, is getting back to his superstar caliber of form. Dame's looked a lot better over these past couple weeks, and I think when we talk about the Milwaukee Bucks' success, we just have to look at the two head of the snake. When we're talking about this Milwaukee Bucks team, it's Giannis and it's Dame. These guys have been playing at all-star, superstar caliber players over the past couple weeks and months, and I think that's the real reason why this Bucks team has gone from a team that was 4-9 all the way now to a team that is 14-11. And they're getting some good production from guys around Giannis and Dame. They're getting some really good three-point efficiency. Taurean Prince in this game, yes, he only had 6 points, right? He hit 2 threes, maybe not on the best efficiency, but Taurean Prince right now in the NBA has the highest three-point percentage in the entire world. He's shooting 51% from 3. And we know Taurean Prince is a solid defender. Like, he's definitely a plus defender, for your squad. So you're getting that level of three-point shooting from Taurean Prince. You're also getting really good three-point shooting out of AJ Green. He had 9 points on just 50% from 3 this game. And on the season, AJ Green is shooting about 47.5% from 3. So just between those two guys, you're getting 2 of the top three-point percentage shooters in the entire NBA on your roster. AJ Green, he had a good game against the Hawks, and he's definitely a underrated defender as well. You still have Bobby Portis coming off the bench for you. In this game, he had 10 points, 5 of 10 from the field, just missed his jump shots with the threes, but he's still averaging about 13.5 on the season and grabbing you almost 8 rebounds a game. So you still got a sort of 6-man of the year candidate, like he potentially could win that award in Bobby Portis. And, Chris Middleton, he's just came back from injury over the past couple weeks, and he hasn't looked great. I mean, another non-efficient night from him, 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, but it's still Chris Middleton. I think once he ramps up and if he can stay fully healthy, and by the end of the season, we'll probably get back to that, fully healthy Chris Middleton where he can score 20, 30 points on any given night and be a flamethrower for this Milwaukee Bucks team. So they're getting back fully healthy. They're getting their superstar, all-star caliber players to play at the level they've been playing at. Even a guy like Brook Lopez, he had a really good game with 16 points and very efficient from the field and the three-point line. And we know that Brook Lopez can be a very good interior defender. So this Milwaukee Bucks team is impressing me a ton. So we can also take a look at the Bucks schedule here, and we can see just how red hot they've been. Like I've mentioned, we can see starting right November 18th. They went on a big run. They had that huge win over Houston. That was a very impressive win, winning by 1 point against a really good Houston Rockets team. Then they beat the Pacers, they beat the Hornets, they beat the Heat, they beat the Washington Wizards, they beat the Pistons. They lost to the Hawks, so they kind of got their get back. They did lose a very close game in Boston, so they did drop a couple games in a row, but then came back and beat Brooklyn, beat Orlando, and beat the Hawks as well. So are they playing the greatest of competition? No, but you still have to be bad teams to be a good team. And we look at the future here. They have to play the OKC Thunder in the finals. It's obviously going to be a very hard matchup in the NBA Cup. Then they do have to play Cleveland as their next game out of the NBA Cup. And if they can win, let's say one or even both of these games, that would be super impressive because then they kind of have an easier schedule over the next couple weeks and maybe even a month or so. They play the Wizards, then they play the Bulls, then they play Brooklyn, then they play the Bulls again, then they play Indiana, then they play Brooklyn again, then they go to Portland, Toronto, San Antonio, maybe still an injured Orlando team. And then the schedule maybe gets a little bit harder with teams like New York, Sacramento, Philly, if they're fully healthy, could be a hard matchup. But this Bucks schedule, at least for the next month or two, doesn't really look to be that competitive. So I think we can see the Bucks really start to jump in the standings. Like I would not be surprised out of these next, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, after the OKC and Cleveland game, out of those next 10 games, I would not be surprised if they go like 7-3, 8-2, and that's just going to keep bumping them up in the standings. And, they've been rolling. They started off the season really bad. They won their first game against Philly, but then they lost, what was that, 6 or 7 straight in a row, and then kind of were just off and on. But then they went on that big winning streak, and they have been playing red hot basketball. And we take a look at the NBA standings, and this is a team that, yes, they're in a weaker Eastern Conference, but they are starting to climb in the East, and they now have a record of 14-11, right? That's only one game behind the Knicks. So, Knicks are the 4 seed. You got the Magic, who are probably going to start to drop a ton of games here with not having Franz and Paulo being healthy. So we could look at this Milwaukee Bucks team that could realistically jump up to the 4 or the 3 seed. I don't think they really have any chance of ever catching the Cavs or the Celtics, but if the Bucks can finish as the 3 seed, I mean, they'll have home court advantage and they'll probably play a weaker team in the East, maybe the Pacers, maybe the Hawks, maybe the Heat, and I think they could definitely win a first round series and then maybe match up with like the Boston Celtics or maybe match up with the Cavs in the second round depending on the standings. And I mean, I don't think they're going to be an easy out for either of those teams. I think we're finally seeing Milwaukee get back to that championship window, right? When they won in 2021, they're starting to feel like they're getting back to that form. Now, I'm not saying this is a team that I think is going to be in title contention. I don't have the Milwaukee Bucks being a better team than the Celtics and the Cavs in the playoffs. Maybe the Cavs just because of their lack of playoff experience, but I would still probably take the New York Knicks fully healthy over the Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs. But once again, this is a Bucks team that went from 4-9 to start the regular season that is now all the way up to 14-11. They have been playing great. They are, what are they? They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Just in general, to wrap up the video, I've been super impressed with the Bucks. I think they're starting to look back to that finals, right, 2021 form. I think they're starting to finally look to get back to that level, and they have been super impressive. They've been rolling over the past couple weeks and month, and I'm very excited to see, what's in store for this Milwaukee Bucks team. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about the Milwaukee Bucks? What did you guys think about that game against the Hawks in the NBA Cup semifinals? Let me know all the type of stuff down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.